Good morning. It's GC3, and I'm in the place to be as always. It's been a little while, and I appreciate all of you for still rocking with me despite being so busy. I had all kinds of crazy things going on. Right now we're at the midway point of June ball. I had a few events. I've been traveling a lot. Been at the Pangos All American camp. Even before that, I was up in New Mexico, um, down in the Farmington area, up near the Four Corners area, for CK's event with Northern Arizona Hoop or 928 Hoops, and I even went to Hawaii. Normally, that's when the summer invitational. That's the weekend I usually run that event. But life happens. It was my 20th year high school reunion, and I had to attend. However, I got a special guest, and I've been trying to drag her onto the show, but a lot of it is my fault because I'm so busy and my schedule just couldn't align to where she was free. But this guest has ties to Arizona, New Mexico, and Hawaii. So three of my favorite places. So without further ado, I'm gonna bring on Miss Mo. What up, Miss Mo? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm grateful. I'm blessed. I'm having a lot of fun. Just I'm just living. Like it's a lot of fun being able to watch a lot of basketball. I'm crazy about the sport. It's a lot of fun. A lot of really great things going. How's everything going with you? How's your summer going?
It's good actually. Just been doing a lot of cardio, trying to get stay in shape so I don't have to get in shape. A lot of the training stuff, the usual.
No, that's awesome. So first thing, I first saw you play there at Scottsdale Community College, and let's talk about that. So, like, how did you get over? Where did you start playing, and how? And we'll talk about like how. Well, first of all, how does New Mexico, Arizona, and Hawaii all tie in? Because I brought that up, and you know, once I found out, your ties to all three, I just was like, oh, I like this kid already. Makes me feel at home. So,
Well, my dad was born in Hawaii. Moved out here. I was born and raised in the Four Corners area, Farmington. I went to school at Kirkland Central High School. My school is known for girls basketball. We're number one in the state for state titles won. But unfortunately, I did not win the state title, which is totally fine. But no, I love the area. I never really got to experience anything else but being in New Mexico, which is, I would say, I love playing here. The style is completely different. I never had no trainers, no extra help, just playing in a bunch of these little tournaments around the area, which is what I think kind of made me play the way that I do. Um, I never got a lot of exposure in high school. I didn't have offers coming out of high school. I probably averaged like 2 points a game senior year. Um, I played in Nabby in Phoenix, and Coach Tasha actually saw me play, and it kind of went from there.
well, that's awesome that you're talking. That you're tying in. That's awesome. Because your last name. I went to school with Tiffany Shim, who is really a really good basketball player as well. She was a few years older than me, but no, I remember. So it's just crazy. And when I saw you play at Scottsdale, I was looking at Coach Tasha, Coach Joe. I'm like, where'd you get this kid? She's good. Like, and they're like, us, George, we find all these under the radar kids. So, talking, back to your experience in Scottsdale. So what I currently go through with parents is when I talk about JUCO, they look at me like, "What the heck?" And I just said, "No, they don't really understand the value of a junior college." What can you share about your experience there at Scottsdale that has propelled you to where you're currently at?
Honestly, I don't know if it's just JUCO, if it was just the way that Coach Tasha and Coach Joe kind of coached us. But I would say that everything that we did at JUCO helped me become the player and the person that I am today. I feel like she preached not only to be better on the court, but off the court as well to make us better women. Um, Honestly, JUCO might scare a lot of kids away, um, but I wouldn't trade anything for that experience. I mean, I learned that's where I learned like what it is to truly grind and what it truly is to work for something that you want. Like the analogy should use is it's like a doghouse. You're trying to get in, get out. Everybody's trying to get in, get out. You work hard every day. My biggest thing was I put 110% effort anytime I stepped on the floor, whether it's a game, practice, whether we're outside running around campus. I just feel like JUCO gave me a different mentality to where I just want to work hard all the time, no matter what. Even if I'm not going to go play after, it just made me want to work harder.
No, that's awesome, and that's what like in the space that we're navigating in, like the women's game has continued to elevate, and we're seeing a lot of the trends that's been happening on the men's side starting to happen on the women's. Like the portal has been crazy. So what I keep telling parents and student athletes, you have to consider all options because four-year schools are not recruiting right out of high school unless you're in that just blatantly at that top 3 to 5 percentile of your class nationwide. The rest of the kids are just not even being looked at because they're looking for older, mature student athletes that can make an impact right away. So that changes the job that I do with evaluating talent, where I have to work hard, or concentrate more on those JUCO kids and know who's in the portal to fulfill those roster needs of college coaches. And I'm not saying that it won't happen where you'll get well you're not going to get picked up by 4 year, but I know I had another young lady which had recently participated in my Fab 100 camp in the spring, and she was just at the right place at the right time. I saw film on her. I said, okay, I want to see more in person what she does. Played at the event. I was impressed. Then it kind of, one of the coaches in my contacts, just kind of hit me up. It's like, hey, George, I need a big wing. And I said, well, define big wing. What are you looking for in a big, like, how big of a big wing do you need? And he's like, I need 5'8" and above. And I said, I got a kid for you. And sent film over, and he's like, how did she play? And I go, I'm impressed. She has things that she has to work on like every other kid, but she can go. And I put them in contact. Next thing you know, he's like, I'm going to offer her. It's too late. We got to go. I said, okay, great. Well, then I get a call like a week or two later, and he's like, guess what? I go, what's up? He goes, we're transitioning to D2. I was like, whoa. So
Wow.
this kid had no offers, no anything, about to graduate a month before, and then boom, just kind of was at the right place at the right time. So everybody's journey is different. I know yours, like you were saying, you didn't win the state title. There was no exposure, kind of where you were at the school you played at, and you took that opportunity to play in an event, and boom, coach saw you. She gave you that chance, and look now, you're at a Division 2. You're at Tucsulum University out there in Tennessee, and that's just an amazing opportunity for people who don't know. D2 opportunities are not easy. Um, Technically, you have to be nearly a Division 1 player to be at a D2. So that's what I assess you as. You were a low major plus. Um, when I saw you at Scottsdale. And yeah, so my next thing, what advice can you offer to the next generation coming up of student athletes?
Honestly, I would say just to be confident and like play within yourself. That's one thing. JUCO was a blessing in my eyes because I used those years to kind of develop as a player and as a person. And if it wasn't for Coach Tasha and Coach Joe and the program that we had, I wouldn't be confident in myself. I think that was the big difference, and it was truly a blessing. You kind of just gotta. I really think it is confidence. Confidence can take you a long way. But also, I'd say not to let like the media and stats and stuff get to your head, and just play within yourself and have fun. Remember what you're playing for, really.
No, and that's a valuable advice. I mean, for parents and student athletes kind of navigating that space of the recruiting, coaches are looking to put together a puzzle. They're not
Hmm.
always looking for somebody who's going to be dropping a triple double every game or who's putting up 30 points a game. Sometimes they need that kid who's going to be a defensive you know piece of that puzzle, who's going to go out there, get a handful of rebounds, get a few deflections, take a charge or so, and a few steals every game, and they'll find a place. And for those parents who don't, and student athletes who haven't seen JUCO, they need to go because and go to these games. One, to support student athletes that are going to those games. The second thing is to see how high the level is because Mo, when you guys played against some really good competition like Eastern, Western, uh, Cochise, Mesa, even the teams that were still building at the time, like like Phoenix College and Chandler Gilbert, they're really good teams and they're deep. Like I remember watching your team when you guys played. It was like a whole different rotation in the second half, and I was like
Hmm.
trying to like it was kind of difficult for me to evaluate because I'm so used to the high school side where I can watch the kids. Okay, they're getting a lot of chunk of minutes throughout the whole game. Where I'm like, okay, now I'm like, well, wait, some of the kids that played the first half didn't even play the second half, and I'm like, well, I didn't even know they had those other kids, and it was like a boxing match. I was like, wow, I was super impressed, and I'm like, yeah, this is a challenge. I need to continue to work on my craft and try to do more evaluations on the JUCO players. So, last question I have for you before I let you go, because I know you need to enjoy summer. I mean, I know you're home. Tennessee is like completely different. So, how are you liking, your university and your program there at Tucsulum University, and what does the future hold for Miss Mo?
um, I really don't have too much to say on it just because I transferred mid-season. It was a little hard to adjust to at first. I had two practices before my first game. Um, I was a little nervous. I had to go out as a three when I'm usually just a shooting guard. Like all as bad as it sounds, all I do is really shoot. But um, it was different trying to adjust to the different style of playing. It felt way slower than JUCO. Um, everything to me felt slower, but I think it's because at Scottsdale we played at such a fast pace, and I was used to running around nonstop, pressing, full court defense. Like um, here, I sat back behind the 3 point line and just waited for the person to come to me when I'm used to full court pressure, 40 minutes a game. Um, I would say though the university itself isn't bad. I do love the area. I love seeing green. All I see here in New Mexico is just dirt and tumbleweeds. Um, um, I would say that I do like playing there really. It's a different feeling. I mean, D2 is such a difference from JUCO, but I would say JUCO prepared me for anything. I was dog tired by the end of practice every day at JUCO, but I go to a D2 and it's completely different. I feel like I was prepared in every way possible for anything, really. Just a lot of basketball IQ coming in mid-season.
Well, that's great. That's amazing. So, I mean, what my last question is, what can we look forward? What you know, can we look? The viewers and myself look forward, in your career, and and also if you want to share your degree program, what your plans are.
This spring, I'll be graduating with my bachelor's in criminal justice with an emphasis in forensic science. I also have my associates in forensic science that I got at Scottsdale. I'm hoping to maybe get back another year to use a grad year and play one last year. If not, I'll still end up going to grad school for criminal justice and forensic science. And if I don't end up playing, I want to stay in the Tennessee area and go to UTK because I know they have a good forensic program with the body farm and everything.
No, that's amazing. Again, Mo, it's always a pleasure as always. Thank you for joining the podcast and sharing your story because this is super, you know, just impactful in more ways than you and I can even comprehend. Because I know all it takes is just one or two people to watch the episode and like wow, and it'll positively impact their lives as well as motivate them and get them a better understanding of your journey. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Always. All right, guys, so that's number 37 with Monique Shim, and one of my favorite players that played out here in the ACCAC. Just a great young lady. Shout out to Coach Tasha, Coach Joe at Scottsdale. Always been super supportive of what I do. And again, guys, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Peace.